right now you're at the very first phase, which is the phase of damage control. We don't want pornography to escalate to the point where it has serious consequences, and we'll see that a bit later. So we're in the phase of damage control right now, and you are here somewhere in the middle, maybe a bit more than the middle. You've been doing really well in this challenge, and you're controlling the impact that pornography has in your life. This is the very first step to stop a fire, to quench a fire. You need to stop propagating it in the first place. So the damage control starts by taking action. You're ready to move on and take action to get better. It goes with using a positive, constructive, efficient method to quit pornography progressively. It goes with small wins, but very important wins to build confidence in your ability to heal from this. And it comes with finding supports and opening up about your story and letting go of that baggage and the shame and the judgment and the self-hatred and all the stuff that is not helping you and that's really heavy. Once the damage control is well underway, which is pretty good after 21 days, 30 days, then we can work on healing the dysfunction. All right. The reason why you're addicted to pornography, you're watching pornography, is that there is a dysfunction within you, and it may be hurtful to hear that. It's not a judgment of your value. It's just to say that there's something not quite balanced in your life, something not quite balanced in your psyche or within you, and that creates a dysfunction. Okay, so if I'm driving a really beautiful Mustang and there's a flat tire on the Mustang, on this car, it doesn't mean that the Mustang is going to throw it to the tip. Right? It just means that I've got to fix the tire, but I still love the car. But it's the same for you. There is a dysfunction that makes you watch pornography. The fact that there's a dysfunction doesn't mean you're a bad person. And everybody is dysfunctional to an extent. All right. So it just means that if you address the dysfunction, the system of you will work a lot better. I can drive with my Mustang in a flat tire, but it's not going to be a very comfortable ride. But if I take the time to fix the tire, then it's going to be a smooth ride. Same for you. So healing the dysfunction that makes you watch too much pornography in the first place. This phase goes through analyzing yourself and in several aspects that we'll cover in a second, and to use a technique to heal the dysfunction or the dysfunctions in your life. We want to go at the root cause of what's causing the addiction in the first place and release that and heal that. And from then on, we can progress. From then on, and then only, we can focus on remission, which is the phase where we actively focus on not watching pornography. This is the phase where we can talk about relapse. All right. A lot of people talk about relapse, followers of other methods that I'm going to name. That's fine. No fat, no PMO. You can't really talk about relapse if you haven't been in a phase of remission. And you can't really have been in a phase of remission if you haven't been trying to heal the dysfunction in the first place. So a lot of people are kind of stuck in the damage control phase, but they're trying to go straight into remission and it doesn't work just because the dysfunction has not been healed. So this is the phase where we can talk about relapse. Once you've been for 3 months, 6 months, a year without watching pornography, then we can talk about a relapse. And a relapse is not you watch pornography once. A relapse is, over the course of a month, you've been watching pornography 7 times and it's been a year that you hadn't been watching pornography. That's a relapse, all right? Not watching pornography once when you've been free for a week. That's some kind of damage control you're trying to do. We want to observe how the client adapts to the new life while having healed their dysfunction. This is a new set of parameters, so how they adapt to that. And the relapse are always caused by a big emotional upset, okay? So you want to look for big emotional upsets in your life. This is mostly what's causing the relapses. And finally, once you've been in remission for long enough, 3 months, 6 months, a year, whatever it is, then you'll see progressively you're living your best life. Then you can take the best seats on the stage of your life and shine. The dysfunctions that were creating the addiction to pornography are not limiting you anymore. You've quit pornography and the system of you is working at 200%. You can dream big. You can build an empire if that's what you desire, or live a very small, contained, and happy life. If that's what you desire, you can shine and enjoy your best life, whatever that means for you, following the vision that we've just built earlier. All right, so it took me quite a bit of time to go through that slide. So all these steps take time. Okay, all of that takes time. It's normal that quitting pornography takes time. It is a process. It is a process. You can imagine that quitting pornography is a project. Building a house is a project. Getting a diploma is a project. Career transition is a project. Quitting pornography is a project. All right, you can visualize it in that way. So you're not running a sprint, you are running a marathon. Remember that from the challenge. You're not running a sprint, you are running a marathon. The people who keep on relapsing is because they have no strategy. They're heading straight down, head down, into not watching pornography. You are running a marathon. To run a marathon, as I have in 2009, the Paris Marathon, you need a strategy, and you need water and food supplies, and to know when to accelerate and when to slow down, and training and things like that. Yes, you are running a marathon. You're running a marathon. So this is an important message here. Right now, you're at a very important turning point. In 3 months from now, you will have forgotten about this 21-day Porn Detox challenge. You will have forgotten about me, probably, sad face, and you will even have forgotten about how you feel right now and the efforts that you made to get there. Okay? You're probably feeling empowered right now from this positive experience, the 28-day challenge. In 3 months from now, you probably will forget all about this. In the coming days, you're going to make a decision, whether it's a conscious decision or an unconscious, subconscious decision. You're going to make the decision to either leverage the work you have put in this challenge and move to the next steps, or to go back to autopilot and forget all about this and insidiously get back to square one. Okay? This decision is going to happen. You can make it consciously. If you don't make it consciously, it's going to happen unconsciously. So you're at a very, very important turning point right now. I want you to get better. All right. I was addicted to pornography for 17 years. I suffered a lot. In 2024, there's no need to suffer. Okay. There's a lot of technology, but nothing that allows us to not suffer. Well, these techniques exist. They're a form of therapy. I want you to get better. I want you to stop suffering, and I want you to live your best life. I've recovered from pornography. It's very possible. You will do it too. But you have to make that decision. You owe it to yourself to heal from this. All right. People have so much potential. I see my clients have so much potential. You owe it to yourself to heal from this, to manifest all this potential into your life and just live. I never knew life could be so good. All right. I never knew life could be so good. I live in a very comfortable house with my fiancée, Caroline. We're so happy. I live off my passions, which is therapy and sometimes horse riding. I never knew life could be so good and so simple. Life is simple. You just need to heal the dysfunctions. You owe it to yourself and to the people you love around you to heal from this. So, as you're making this conscious and unconscious decision, there are some common limiting beliefs that will block you in your tracks. And this is where it's going to get pretty real. All right. So I hope you apologize for me speaking the truth, but it's important that you hear those so that you don't waste another 3 months, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years of your life fighting these beliefs. The first one is, I want to figure it out on my own. Very, very common, especially with young people. And I tell you what, I was the same. I wanted to figure out myself how to quit pornography. I'm a bad example because eventually I figured out a combination of ways that I use that in my therapy. But this is not helpful. This is slowing you down. This is just a belief that comes out of ego, where you want to prove to yourself that you're worthy of something by hacking your way out of pornography and that you don't want anyone else to give you a hand and pull you out of that deep hole. This is not helpful. All right. The beliefs that you should have is the opposite belief. I will use all the help necessary, the people, the resources, the time, the energy to heal from this addiction as soon as possible and move on. The more you hold on to, I want to work on this on my own, you're clinging onto that idea, you're clinging onto pornography as well. All right. The idea should be, I want to move out of this thing as soon as possible because I got things to do. I've got an awesome life to live. And so it starts today. And I'm going to use everything that I can, every book that I can read, every Dimitri who can give me advice, and anything else that I can use to make this part of my history, and not be addicted anymore to pornography. You will use all the help necessary. This is what matters. This is the belief you should have. I will use all the help necessary is the belief you should have. Another common belief is, well, that seems too long, which is just described here. It seems nice, but it seems to take a long time. I want to work the quick way. What I've showed you is the quick way, okay? For how long have you been trying to quit pornography now? Maybe a few months, more likely so a few years, possibly decades. It's not uncommon that I've got clients that are trying to quit pornography for the past 30 years, 40 years, okay, unsuccessfully. So even if you have to work a few weeks or a few months, it's still the quick way, all right? The path to progress is the quickest way. And not only that, but everything that you learn about yourself, healing the dysfunction, all these techniques that I can share with you, everything you become through this process of healing is permanent. You're changing from one state of you to another. The healing that happens within you is permanent, as opposed to other techniques where you're brute forcing your way to not watching pornography. And if you ever relapse or if you ever come back to watching pornography, you've lost all of your efforts. And these methods are so hard anyway. So this does not take a long time. This process that I described is the quickest way. Okay. Sorry, there's a mistake here. So what this should read is, I'm afraid that somebody's going to judge me, shame me, or reveal my secrets and my fantasies to all the rest of the world. Okay, so this just doesn't happen when you work in a safe, sex-positive, non-judgmental space. All right, if you've never heard of sex-positive before, it means that whatever you're into, we value that. We value sexuality. So long as it's between two consented adults and the sex you're engaging is legal, then go you know. And there's no judgments, and you can speak freely, and nobody's gonna say anything. So this is just my experience. In that frame where you're revealing your most vulnerable parts, the most vulnerable part of you, everybody's in that same boat where everybody's like little by little opening up, and they very much realize, same as you, that this is an uncomfortable process. And nobody's going to come and extract that information. The work is anonymous anyway, so they can't really do that. So it just doesn't happen. The sphere is we understand where it comes from, and it just doesn't happen when you work in a safe space. They've been telling your secrets to friends in the past, and they revealed that to the rest of the world. I'm sorry about that. They just were not a safe frame. That I am a safe frame, and the structures I create are a safe frame. All right, and the last belief here is, I don't want to pay for a solution. Okay, so this is where it's going to get really real and pretty dark. So I implore you to stay with me and to just hear what I have to say on this. Yeah, it's going to get a little bit dark, but it's important that you hear it. So there's different degrees of consequences to watching pornography. The first one is the blue one, casual watching of pornography. That's not really a problem. That was probably a while ago for you. You're just wasting time, or you're investing time in watching pornography. Maybe there's something that starts to build up about unrealistic expectations, and that, hey, I really like this type of bodies or things like that. And in real life, it's not really exactly the same. And there's a risk of addiction that is present. That's typically in the early watching of pornography, or with a very casual consumption of pornography. Then there's the step after that where pornography becomes a problem. The problematic watching of pornography becomes a problem, first order consequences. So pornography is not fun, it becomes a need. It used to be that pornography made your life better when you did it. Now it's just like your life is just the same when you watch pornography, but when you don't watch pornography, your life is less good. This is a bit of a red flag here. Pornography is not fun. It becomes a need. There's tolerance building or habituation. So you need more pornography or more intense pornography to get that dopamine hit that you were getting before. Possibly you're getting a bit of brain fog, so it's hard to focus. Your sexual tastes get specialized, so kinks and fetishes appear or develop if they were already there. This is not an issue, again, in the sex positive frame. You can be into whatever you're into, but in the bedroom, sex starts to become a bit boring and there's a distanciation from the partner, where what we see in pornography seems a lot more exciting than what's happening in the bedroom, and it's kind of hard to bring in the bedroom what we're into. We start spending some money onto paying sites, possibly for these more specialized behaviors that we're seeking. And there's development of sexual dysfunction, typically erectile dysfunction, but also sometimes premature ejaculation or delayed ejaculation. So here, pornography starts to become a problem. And then there's the high risk watching of pornography, where pornography is its own problem and it creates some new problems, really, really big problems in the long run. So pornography becomes the biggest priority or a really foundational need to our well-being, and it's very, very hard to stop. We start engaging in risky sexual behaviors, and there's a risk of contracting STDs. There's maybe legal concerns that appear with illegal sexual practices or anything that's illegal. Maybe we're failing our studies at school because of the brain fog, or not really putting the time to study because of pornography. Pornography creeps in at work or near our own children, and so there's this risk-taking of pornography creeping in aspect of life where it's not supposed to. Our partners start to feel abandoned, and they feel a real disconnect with the person that you were, and that can lead to a breakup, and that can lead to a divorce. The divorce can lead to a lot of debt, and they need to hire a lawyer, and a mortgage, and a loss of custody of your children, and to an extent, suicidal ideation, if I take this to an extreme. So we're really in the dark of the consequences here. I need to tell you that suicidal ideation is not uncommon for people suffering from pornography addiction for several decades. I've had several times early on with my clients as they joined working with me, the call that, they're not feeling good and they've got those ideas, and I had to be there and be on the call. So all these consequences are very real. All these consequences are very real. Okay, you need to know that. I don't mean to alarm you, but I need you to know that this is the horizon. The more time is being spent, the more this can happen. So going back to, I don't want to pay for a solution. Let's say a solution is going to be about $100 per month, give or take, and you're going to heal from this pornography addiction in 6 months. All right, so that's your budget there. That's pretty good. This is you doing the work and investing. Well done. This is you not doing the work or someone else not doing the work. 5 years later, they're suffering from erectile dysfunction. They got to pay for a clinic, which is $250 per month. I know because I used to work in one of those clinics. You only got your third choice of school, and you couldn't really pick your favorite school because pornography took too much time, and so your career is already not built on a strong foundation. You're gonna go through a divorce. You're gonna lose half your net worth instantly through that divorce, plus the lawyer, plus maybe refinancing the house, plus possibly losing access to your children, and all the lost potential of that book that you were meant to be writing, that startup that you were meant to be launching, this new promotion that you were meant to be getting that you did not get because all of this were happening at the same time. And with all of that, you still haven't made progress with pornography. Okay, so I hope it's pretty clear that it is worth investing a little bit of finances into yourself. It's not so much paying, it's not an expense, it's an investment into your future self. And to be really crude about this, if you don't have $100 per month to solve your pornography problem, you may have other priorities done pornography at the moment, for example, to boost your finances, so you can have this $100 per month, and there's no judgment here. This happens to everybody. Or you don't really have a pornography problem, and then that's fine. But really, if you have a pornography problem, this should be a priority to invest in your healing. Untreated pornography addiction only gets worse with time. Okay, untreated pornography addiction only gets worse with time. This is a bad piece of news that I need to share with you as well. But I have healed from my pornography addiction. Many of my clients have healed or gotten better from their pornography addiction. As soon as you put the energy in, you will heal from your pornography addiction too. Okay, there is hope. You need to know that as well. Whew, okay, this is a bit heavy. So moving on from that, and there's limiting beliefs. So right now, what do you need? Well, right now, what you need is to keep walking. You've been doing wonderfully in this 21-day challenge. Right now, you need to keep walking. You have unlocked some new habits, some new knowledge, and a new mindset. You've seen yourself make progress. You need to keep going. You need to keep walking. That's the first thing. The second thing you need is you need a guide or a compass, someone who can tell you when you're going in the right direction and when you're not on this journey from quitting pornography, from healing from this addiction. And you need a supportive community, people who are on the same journey as you, with whom you can discuss, be seen, and let go of shame. All right? Anything that you go through is only real when you share it with the people around you. If it's just happened between you and yourself, your brain cannot really register that it was real. It might as well have been a dream. It'll have the same effect. It needs to be discussed with people around you to make this real. So you need a supported community to be witnessed, to be seen, because this candle, probably pretty hot, is still burning, all right, because you're being seen. That's very important. If you're a solo traveler, that's also okay. You don't want to be mingled with people, that's fine. But the more you're in a supported community with this, the more you can let go of the shame and shed the layers of shame and just be yourself and be accepted for who you are, in spite of what you think you've done that's wrong, which is not wrong. So if you've enjoyed the challenge, I want to invite you to keep working together with me. All right. I've created an online platform called Unhooked, for helping men like you quit pornography with therapy. So what does it mean when I say men like you? Men like you are men who understand that there is no quick fix to healing and addiction. There are men who can speak from the heart. There are men who value psychology and personal development. And there are men who are humble, courageous, and determined. All right. These are the people that I love to work with and that I have really, really good results with. So what do we do within Unhooked? What's happening within those walls? Well, the exact same thing that you've been doing in this challenge, only we just go a lot deeper and we'll tackle all the 3 phases of healing. Okay, if you remember the slide from the past, during the damage control phase, while at Unhooked, we deal with the damage control. We also deal with healing the dysfunction. And then with moving away from pornography progressively for the long term to live your best life. And I'm also very happy to give you tools and advice and ideas on how to live your best life and get you in this process as well. So what does healing the dysfunction involve? Well, you want to change the way you watch pornography. That's the behavioral approach. You've been doing that really well in the 21-day challenge here. You want to learn to let go of shame and all the emotions around pornography and talking about it. That's very important, as I mentioned earlier. You want to focus on stress reduction and improving your environment. Stress is such a huge contributor to wanting to watch pornography, and we use pornography as a way to soothe and alleviate that stress. So tackling the stress is really, really crucial. Living a fulfilled sex life where sex feels like a party and you're having fun and you're engaging in meaningful sex where there's a sense of connectedness, there's a sense of fulfillment, there's a sense of, the things you're engaging in makes sense and it's done in a safe, reasonable way. So overcoming the sexual repression that you've been going through. A lot of people who watch pornography is only because they cannot have the sexual excitement or diversity or whatever else there is in their life. They use pornography as a proxy to access that particular type of sex or that quantity of sex. That if they could have what they see in pornography as their real sex life, then they would be very happy. So that's one pathway as well to follow, is just to let go of the repression and engage in a fully fulfilled sex life. And of course, living on purpose, living your best life. When you're living out of purpose, there is no time for pornography. When you're limitless, there is no time for pornography. I feel so involved with Unhooked and so happy to be creating the space, working on the healing, doing the sessions, doing the work, recording the online courses, everything that goes with it. That's my focus. There's nothing else that I think about during the day. And then it's already 5 p.m. when the day's finished, and it's like, oh no, and I can't wait for tomorrow. Okay, and when you live out of passion, this is what happens. And so pornography is just not even a thing that you'll think about when you're touching on that purpose. And the very last thing that we use for healing the dysfunction, which is probably my personal favorite, is the healing of past traumas. Okay, so this is the hidden cause, the hidden root cause of why people watch pornography, the unconscious root cause of why people watch pornography. We find the root cause of our traumas by analyzing our sexual fantasies, which is something I've created called fantasy analysis. And then we heal those traumas with emotional reprocessing technique, which is my own flavor of another technique called EMDR, if you ever heard of it. This technique is extremely powerful. It's the most powerful technique I know of. And I use it with my clients. They've got incredible results where it's just a different life. When you heal all this stuff, the past trauma from the past that's creating all the hurt in your life, that's controlling your life, and you don't even know it's controlling your life, and you just let go and allow your heart to break up and breathe and be alive, it changes everything. Right? This healing alleviates the core dysfunction. It heals the core wound that you're carrying within you without knowing inside an individual, and it clears extremely efficiently pornography, but most of our other limitations as well. I would say all of our limitations if you just address them methodically. And this method is sometimes referred to as shadow work or trauma healing or inner child healing. All this stuff is basically the same thing. Most powerful technique I know of in the realm of psychology as of today. So, by now you may be wondering, this is super nice, Dimitri, how much does it cost to join Unhooked? So within Unhooked, you'll be having access to my help via email or within the community. You can just ask me any questions that you like. Access to all my methods and all my online programs. You'll be accessing the code to decipher your sexual fantasies and heal the hidden dysfunctions that are controlling your life. And we've seen how powerful this is. You'll have access to a weekly group call together with me and the other members. And you can focus on letting go of shame, or the focus of Unhooked is to letting go of shame and judgments, of removing stress from your life, enjoying your sex life in a positive way, and living your best life with inner peace, joy, and purpose. Like, how good does that sound? This is the dream life. Okay, so basically you just want to live a happy life, free from pornography in a way that makes sense for you. Okay, so how much does it cost? Join Unhooked and access all of that. Well, you can access Unhooked for $80 per month on our Explorer plan. All right, $80 per month. That's the cost of the membership. Now, because you've been contributing to the 21-day challenge and you're really motivated, I don't want the finances to get in the way of any of this. So I'm going to make this easier and offer you the first month for $19. So you can get a feel for Unhooked and really find your groove and see the results before you commit anymore. And I tell you what, at Unhooked, I put all my best art and my best heart into this work. And so I'm really confident about my products and I want you to see results. So if after 30 days, you're not happy, or before that, you're not happy with Unhooked and you decide it's not for you, and that's totally fine. We've got a 30-day money-back guarantee. I'll give you your money back. No questions asked, and that's totally fine. All right. So you can join Unhooked today for $19. You'll just have to follow this link. I'll put this link in the chat as well. If you use the code 21 welcome, then you'll get your first month at $19. This code is valid for 88 hours, so make sure you use it. And again, you have your 30 days money back guarantee. So this is really a no risk option. All right, everybody, I'll leave you here and I'll give some time for questions now.